Well, hello, everybody. We are here for the same thing to talk about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After till all part four. Yo, let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, to my nieces and nephews, and all the y'all who have been here through the long. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie advice.
So, welcome back, everybody. Let's get into it. So, this till all started off, or this particular episode started off right where we left off with Julia and Brandon making the announcement that they are indeed pregnant, 6 months pregnant. And we're watching Brandon's parents just celebrating in glee over the freaking top. Julia really, kept it away from them because she did not want Miss Betty to control her or to get too involved in, her pregnancy and start to run things. Miss Betty kind of made a little, little jokey about, revealing all the information and stuff like that. But for the most part, I am so glad that Brandon was able to tell his parents, about they're going to be grandparents. And so I think that everything will work out fine. I mean, it just is what it is in this particular relationship. And we just going to have to see whether or not they're going to be acting or not. As you all know, what's his name? Chuck passed away, and the family indicated that this was about 2 weeks ago. Today Andre took to social media to talk about the relationship with between him and Chuck, and said that he would be sharing more information about that, and that a lot of the fighting and stuff was fake, like we didn't know. Well, I take that man through that. They said, Andre said that he loved the filming process. That was something he was really into, and I just was like, oh, okay, whatever. So in this episode, we dealt with the Silver twins, Darcy and Stacy, and so Darcy, of course, started talking about the fact that her husband now wants to have a child or has been thinking about having a child. And then Stacy, of course, has Florian, her and Florian come out later on. But let's talk about Darcy first. So as as I watched this, right, I was like, I don't understand why Darcy and Stacy don't realize that they are an issue. They are absolutely an issue. And the both of them are thinking that their husbands married them because they wanted a green card. I think that when they say that a lot of times, I think it takes away from you. I think it means that they see themselves as only worth a green card and not really fully worth love. Darcy, started talking about not being for a green card. She talked about an incident, about him flirting and all this kind of stuff. And then she talked about talked about an incident where one of the people who are in a club texted him or contacted him in order to find out if something was open, right? The sauna, I believe it was, or something like that. And she was like, well, why would she call him? He's the manager. And this is customer service. Now, it's not that I am trying to take his side or anything like that, but just some stuff is just common sense. He probably works at an elite club where people are expecting a certain level of customer service, and that is what he is providing. The thing about it is, she throws everything up in his face, and they want sympathy when almost all of her brassicas is sitting out on the stage. These women are too old to look like this, to present themselves like this. All of this surgery and stuff like that they're getting is just too much, right? It's just absolutely too much. And they really need to take a step aside and look at themselves. They cause a bunch of chaos and confusion with these men. They are always arguing with them, always emasculating them, and then think somebody wants to stay in a relationship. Stacy comes out because she wants to be, critical of Darcy's husband, and then come to find out her and her husband not living together. She said that once he got his green card, he moved out and he is living in Connecticut and she's in Miami. He was asked why is he, not living in Miami. He said because he couldn't get a job. And he's able to get one in Connecticut. He said that he had asked Stacy to come and stay with him there, and she steady said, I don't know what he wants. Well, it's obvious that you all have already talked about the possibility of you moving to Connecticut to be with him. I think that they, first of all, Stacy says that she thinks that he came here for a green card and he doesn't love her, and that this is the problem in the relationship. Then she says that he likes women and he's flirting with women, and she thinks that there's someone else that he's met. Which one is it? Pick a struggle. Please pick a struggle. I'm like, I don't understand which one is are we supposed to believe it is that he came here. So, going back to Darcy had mentioned that Stacy said, well, Darcy, tell him what he said the first week after you married him. And she said that he said Darcy said he said to her that she's going to have to be obligated to take care of him for 10 years. He said he was just basically kind of saying it, like that's the immigration rules, right? That she is going to be responsible. From my understanding, I believe it was last year, it changed and it's like basically for eternity now. It used to be 10 years. I did not think that there was I didn't think that that was a big deal. I think that all foreigners who come over into this country understand what the immigration laws are and the rules and all of that kind of stuff. They tried to make it appear that this was in connection with him not wanting to be with Darcy, but Darcy is emasculating both her and Stacy, and they join up together with one another to make these men miserable, and then don't want to take accountability or ownership for the stuff that they're doing. And I don't know why the cast of 90 Day Fiance does not check them, because if I was there, I would be checking these women. They don't they don't they don't respect these men. It's almost like they're an accessory, if you will, for me. I think that's how I feel about it. I feel like they're an accessory, and they're not accessories. They are human beings, and you brought them over here. So, I mean, I don't know, but also when I was what couple was it? It was Jasmine indicating that she really basically doesn't want to be with Matt because she doesn't want to be married to another man where an American can tell her, what to do or control her or put, her put deportation in front of her face. So this is why she doesn't want to be with Matt. But she's having a baby. She had a baby with Matt. I don't understand um like what the rationale is behind Jasmine not being with Matt, other than the fact that I don't think that Jasmine is in love with Matt at all. This is what I'm thinking. One of the things that was shocking, though, is that going back to Darcy, is that Darcy indicated that she had not been with her man for 6 months. In that like man and woman type of way. She said it was since boot camp or something like that. I was like, are you serious? And then she embarrasses him and tell him he need to leave her and all of this. She doesn't want to have a surrogate or anything like that. She believes that he's looking for another woman, and maybe he is, right? And I, at this point, y'all, I can't blame him because I would not want to be married to either one of them, neither Darcy or Stacy. Then Stacy gets in the back, and with Florian by herself, and she said, "So what are we going to do? You already sat out there on the stage and embarrassed the man, and now you want him to sit there, and have a decent conversation with you about, after you have accused him of, number one, using you for a green card, after they both agreed that they had a conversation about her moving to Connecticut." And I'm just like, I don't know what to say about it. What are you saying, sweetie? Thank you, Wendy. Absolutely, JW. I think so too, Stevie True. I also think that they have guidelines for Jasmine because Jasmine indicated in this episode that her and Florian had a close relationship, and that she had said, shared some of her most intimate secrets and stuff with him. Then we see her crying and everything, and just saying that he's not husband material for Stacy. And he was like, "You got the audacity to say something like that when you have cheated on Gino." And Gino was just sitting there going back and forth. I really looked at Gino this particular episode, and I see that Gino is just absolutely still in love with Jasmine. He has not gotten over it. If we can go back a few episodes when Gino had put her stuff out there on the curb, and he acted as if the relationship was over. But then he wasn't dating the girl Natalie anymore. He wanted to rekindle something with Jasmine. When Jasmine called him over to the house, um he was open to reconnecting with Jasmine until Jasmine hit him with, "I'm pregnant by somebody else." I don't think that Gino's over her. I think that a lot of what he is doing as far as trying to have her deported out of the country, which we already see that that has not served him, right? That's not happening. Jasmine's still here and still having babies. Jasmine said if she ain't gonna do nothing else, she gonna have a baby. I don't know how many kids Jasmine has because there's a rumor that the young girl that is supposed to be her sister is actually Jasmine's daughter. I don't know where people got that from, how old this young lady is, what the age difference is between Jasmine and her sister, but we at least know that she has two little boys that we have not heard her talk about at all. One of the things, if I was sitting up on the cast, and even if they edited, I would read Jasmine for filth about not being a good mother to her kids, appearing to have abandoned them in Panama while she chases this American dream, and then turns around, in my opinion, in the boy's face and has another baby, right? I would be feeling hopeless, helpless, even when her mother was on with her when they was telling when she was telling her mother that she was pregnant by Matt while still being with Gino. The mother didn't even mention the kids. Like they don't talk about these kids. But if I was at the tell all, that would be the first thing that I would throw in her face. Not the fact that she had an open marriage. We saw her sit down, on this episode with Stacy, I believe it was. It was either Stacy or Darcy, and was showing them Matt, introducing them to Matt, and saying this is who she had chosen for the open marriage. So this been a while. This has been going on for a while. Matt is absolutely nonchalant. He is tapped out. He doesn't. He just don't have this to do with Jasmine. We saw Jasmine get very upset because Matt told her basically she had a timeline and she was angry because she was like, oh, he never talked to me about a timeline. And he's like, the timeline is going to play itself out. Eventually, he said, right now I'm getting, the booty once a week. And he was like, and that's fine for me. But eventually you're going to play yourself out this relationship. Then when they got back to the house, she was asked, Matt was asked, if you had not gotten Jasmine pregnant, would you marry her? And Matt was like, no. But the whole time you can see Gino standing around stalking the girl. I'm like, Gino, go sit down somewhere. Go get somebody play spades with you or just do something different, right? He is constantly around this girl. He wants to hear everything that Jasmine has to say. He is absolutely still in love with her. And that is so sad, right? Because his heart has been broken into pieces. But he cannot, not be around her. It really wasn't a purpose for him, in my opinion, to even be at the tell all. Like, why is Gino here? To say that Jasmine is a cheat, to put out receipts that you can't make heads or tails of. He's totally in love with Jasmine, but he's lost her to Matt. Now on social media, I think it was the early part of this week, she revealed that her and Matt have purchased a home together. Jasmine ain't going nowhere. Matt's not going anywhere. But I think that there's a realization from Matt that Jasmine doesn't love him. I think that he understands that this is a marriage, a relationship of convenience. And child, rearing a child. He now has a child, so he's locked with Jasmine and basically is trying to make the best out of this situation. Um, None of these couples appear to be happy. So they was, in the house playing all kinds of games and stuff like that. I think all of them talk too much. And Florian and Stacy came to the house, and I was like, why they here? Anyway, I digress. Because they were not going to be part of the deal. I don't know why they always have to be in the same room together. That's just something that bothers me. I don't like it at all. They're just not a package deal. But people, they all seem to have respect for him. And I think because Darcy and Stacy have been around from almost the beginning of the 90 Day Fiance franchise. And so I think that this is why they, pay homage to him and it's a don't tell him the truth. But I absolutely will be telling these hoes the truth. You look like little blow up dolls because when they were talking to Darcy's husband about making a comment about how Darcy was going to be dressed and everything in Moldova. I mean, I said Moldova was going to be dressed around his family. They were like, okay, well, Darcy was able to, he didn't trust that Darcy wouldn't. Darcy didn't. Darcy went to his parents' house. She had on like a little short outfit that bust open. So, like, Darcy didn't dress appropriate. When they had the little get together, which was the wedding thing, her wedding dress was absolutely revealing. So, he didn't do anything wrong. And I don't understand how the cast does not recognize that and does not call that out, they would hate me because I would be calling out everything that I see. Like everything that I see. It would not be one thing that I would not call out as it relates to them. And then, she was like, I should have listened to my father and all this old kind of stuff. But the father had basically told her, you knew what it was. A couple of episodes ago, the father was like, you knew what it was. Absolutely, Ray Della. Ray Della said they used to be beautiful women. They were, but now they look like blow up dolls that you get off of Adam and Eve. The stuff is too much. It's too much, and nobody calls them out. Downtown at the house, Lauren went to um, Libby and was like, "I really want to talk to you." And the two of them were trying to have like a conversation, a coming to Jesus meeting, if you will. And Lauren was like, "Look, I'm just really, really hurt by what you did, right?" She said, "When you was talking about the things my husband was saying about me, you went overboard. You went overboard when you said body shaming. That's just, it's a buzzword. It's a word you should not have used, X, Y, and Z." And Libby was like, I mean, but hey, I was there for you. I'm wrong. I was wrong in my approach. I shouldn't have handled it that way. So, the two of them are trying to like come back together and everything. But Elizabeth said that in that conversation, Elizabeth revealed that her and Andre were talking about a divorce, about getting a divorce. I don't know if that was because of the $75,000 or if Libby is just tired of him being loud and obnoxious. I think that is who Libby is. I think a lot of people do not realize the history. Let me see if I could let me see something. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can get it up real quick. Okay, so in an article in Touch, y'all, dated September 29th, 2002, its 90 Day Fiance star Libby's family have had their fair share of run ins with the law. Get arrest details. And I think that, that was one of the things that we found out about them. So they said, Pop Me Kettle 90 Day Fiance happily ever after. Elizabeth family members were hell bent on figuring out if Andre was hiding a secret about his criminal history. Turns out that they've had skeletons in their own freaking closet. Libby's dad, her brother Charlie, her sister Rebecca, and Jennifer all had run-ins with the law. Okay. So they brought up Charlie's. Hold on, let me see what Charlie did. Charlie has several incidents on his record. In May 2005, Charlie was arrested on a DUI charge. He pled not guilty at a court hearing in August of that year, and the charge was reduced to reckless driving in April of 2006. He was sentenced to 1 year probation, ordered to attend DUI school. In February 2007, he completed that. In December of 2006, Charlie was arrested for one count of third-degree felony or possession of cocaine, two counts of first-degree misdemeanor of possession of drug paraphernalia. He initially pled not guilty but withdrew it in July 2007 and entered a best interest plea. He was sentenced to probation and the case was closed in 2028. Chuck also had some stuff that he was going through too, rest his soul. Chuck was faced with a contempt of court charge and was ordered to pay a lump sum of $17,000. He was released on bond. He was charged and he was arrested in March of 2009 for unpaid child support. In 2005, Jennifer was arrested for driving a vehicle with registration that was expired for more than 6 months. She pled guilty and was ordered to pay a fine. That case is closed. In 2008, Rebecca was charged with driving at an unlawful speed on the interstate. She pled guilty and was ordered to pay a fine. That case is closed. So it is not like this family, right, is without their own problems of their own. Like seriously, they have criminal past and everything else, right, as it pertains to their cotton freaking family. So when she was standing out there having a conversation with Lauren, talking about, you're my only friend, you're the closest person to me, and all of that kind of stuff. But look at how you treat somebody that you call a good friend, where you would, try to cause confusion, chaos between her and her husband, go around back and forth with Yar and Jovi, who sit there and play innocent. They are the type of people who throw a rock and hide their hand and act like they weren't even on the scene. And we know daggone well they're on the scene. It's just a messy bunch of people. I think a lot of this stuff that we're seeing is heavily produced by the producers. Andre confirmed that today downtown on Instagram that the stuff that was going on with him and Chuck was fake. It was fake. Just completely fake. This cast is a bunch of misfits. Anyway, at the end of the day, when oh my goodness. When Jasmine's when Jasmine was talking and they had mentioned to Matt, and Matt said, no, I would not marry her if she was not pregnant. Now she wants to leave the house and go outside and have a conversation and then tell him, okay, me and the baby are going to move out of the house. We don't have to continue with the lease. We can move out the house. Jasmine is so manipulative. And if I was him, and I think that he did kind of say, okay, well, I mean, he said, you're going overboard, but do what you got to do. She is just this is a dark woman. I don't know how she sleeps at night. And I think that that's why she's on social media every 5 minutes, revealing something, acting like she is dying. She is such the victim of all of these American men and nobody likes her. Florian told her just right, how in God's green earth are you going to sit there and accuse me of not being a good husband or husband material when you're sitting up here pregnant and married with another man's baby? Well, she just had the baby. But Florian was like, how you keep saying how much you love Gino, and all of that. And he said, and you're sitting up here pregnant, I mean, that had a baby by somebody else, and you're going to sit there and talk about, I, you're going to talk about, I am not husband material? Girl, bye. They're just a bunch of clams. And I really believe at this point they're actors. I don't believe a lot of the things that I'm seeing anymore. And I must say, and I'm going to say it again. I know I've said it 100 times, but I'm going to say it again. This is not the 90 Day Fiance that we saw back in the day. It's just not. These people were authentic, and it was what it was. I noticed that a lot of them be begging and stuff like that, and GoFundMe's be coming up. GoFundMe's be coming out the yang yang. They are always asking for the money, from Michael to what's the little couple that live in the Philippines? Like, they just had a GoFundMe the other day for to take care of somebody's medicine. I don't know if it's her mom. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The little young boy and the younger was it Mary? Y'all, was it Mary? Let me find it. I'll tell y'all who it is. They just had another fund GoFundMe to take care of somebody's medical bills. Can y'all imagine if I was sitting out here asking y'all for GoFundMe's every time y'all turned around? Let me see if I can find them. Because I was going to do a story on it, and I was like, Auntie, for what? See if I can find it. I got pictures on here of my dog. But it's his name. Brandon and Mary, I think it was. I think it was Brandon and Mary. I can't find it. Or at least I can't find it off of I know I took a snapshot of it. Cause I was like, why do they got another GoFundMe? But I think that's the name of the couple. Brandon and Mary. Okay, I can't find, but I think that's the name of the couple. Like, what's going on? Anyway, that's my duty for the week. I made sure that I did my 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. I know people have been waiting on 90 Day Fiance the other way. Y'all, I'm going to try to get that done on Thanksgiving Eve. Okay. Bless the Lord, we just about finished with this stuff. Because I'm like, okay, I need a break. I need me some love after lockup. I need me something, you know what I mean? I need something a little different from this 90 Day Fiance bullcrap that we keep going through. But anyway, they have a new cast and a new show that's coming out. And I can't wait to meet new cast members. That's always my favorite, is when we meet new cast members for the first time and looking at their crazy. Thank y'all so much for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all. Bye.